Hello my friends, new video today. This time we're going to have a look into CD Projekt RED to be precise. And this stock is actually one of my favorites right now because of its current situation. So first of all, why do I make this video? Well, you guys told me that you liked the recent Moberg stock analysis and you would prefer seeing more investments in Poland, or to be more specific, more investments that could yield a higher return rather than the market in the near future, which is about 2 to 5 years basically. And well, my personal guess or my personal favorite right now is the CD Projekt stock. So this is not going to be as in-depth as the other videos. It's going to be a bit more specific, as I'd like to get straight to the point this time. Well, CD Projekt is currently evaluated at around $19 more or less. It's pretty much swinging around the area of $19. It's been at 17.5, it's been at 20. That's pretty much where we see the stock flowing around in the recent months. They haven't really broken through their downtrend yet. However, I do feel that this current price is already a good valuation, and I think the reason for that are quite diverse, and there are actually a huge lot of reasons to forward that statement for the future. So, for example, CD Projekt has seen a massive downfall from its high at around $100 more or less, a bit higher actually, and ever since then it's been pretty much going down and down and down. And some of these reasons are, for example, Cyberpunk 2077. So Cyberpunk has had led to a huge increase in the CD Projekt stock. So basically, from when people were hyped for it, we could see the stock going higher and higher and higher. And back then, I was still thinking, oh my goodness, why is this stock going so high? Why is there so much hype for this game? And I did realize that after all, since the stock was pretty much praised as releasing a new GTA kind of game, which is going to be Cyberpunk, having these online elements and stuff like that. However, once it were released, CD Projekt kind of went back on their own words. They changed their mind and said, okay, Cyberpunk is going to be purely story-ish, single-player-ish game, no online elements, at least not now. And that's kind of what led to these huge downfalls here and here. And ever since then, we saw Cyberpunk not performing as good, has had huge performance issues, lags, etc. And on the old gen, it was basically unplayable for a while. However, even at prices like 50, 40, we could already see that the game itself was going to be in a better and better shape. But naturally, once the hype is over, doesn't really change all that much anymore, and you only have those hard fundamentalists left in the stock basically, and those don't really get worked up that much when they see the game performance increasing. So basically what happened is the stock pretty much remained around the 40-36 level and stayed around that part for quite a while. And then now recently we saw another downfall because of the current situation of the company, which is of course a lot less sales right now because they don't really have anything they could publish at these current times. And of course, the current fiscal situation is going to have an influence on that as well. People sell their more risky stocks and go into safer options, or even go into entirely different asset classes. So why do I, of all people, think right now could be a good opportunity to buy into it? Well, first of all, CD Projekt has seen a great downfall. It's not valued as highly as it used to be. $100 to pay for a stock that back then wasn't really backing it up that much. was quite the high evaluation. Let me just have a quick look at the market cap. Alright, let's just quicken this up. CD PROJEKT market cap, so we can look this up together. 8.95 billion PLN, so that's 9 billion USD, so that's about 1.9 billion US dollar, which is still not that little, right? It's still something. Like, that's not something we should forget about, like having 1.9 billion worth of market capitalization for a gaming studio that's taking a while to release game after game. It worked several years on Cyberpunk 2077. However, personally, I think we are seeing some sort of turning point recently. One of these reasons speaking for that are the Witcher 3 series, which is going to be part of the next releases, basically. The hype that's behind it, which was, of course, triggered by the great game itself and some major hypes that came afterwards, but of course, the whole Witcher series turned into some sort of franchise with the Netflix series coming along. There were lots of mainstream gamers streaming into the Witcher series, which is now basically a franchise known to anyone who's majorly involved in gaming and or has seen most of the great series on Netflix. And next, why do I think Cyberpunk 2077 isn't as bad as people think that is? Well, first of all, as previously mentioned, the game itself has improved several times over. The performance is a lot better than it used to be. And more importantly, recently there has been a new release of a new series. The series is called Cyberpunk Edgerunners. And this series is also run on Netflix. It's like some sort of anime series. And it's having pretty high IMDb ratings, so you can see this right at first hand. So as you can see, it's currently rated 8.7 out of 10 with almost 9,000 ratings, which is quite a lot for a series based on a game that's supposed to be dead or that's supposed not to be played. And you can see the episode rating has become better and better. So in the beginning, it doesn't seem to convince that many people, but the later you get from in terms of episodes, the better they get, which is always a pretty great sign. And if you scroll down to the people's opinions, you can see they're highly convinced. I just recommend you guys to read through these yourselves. Personally, I do think it has going to be a great influence on the Cyberpunk sales once we see more fraction. I've recently already looked into this, and now you can already see Cyberpunk being part of the 10 biggest games right now on Steam. That's a bad example. It's pretty much gone out of it right now. Yeah, now it's 11, but it's battling around the 10 top spots right now. And as you can see all this on the small chart already, the dead game basically revived into a huge hype very, very recently. And the series is going to have most of that credit for this. And of course, the better performance is now really showing because now there are more gamers streamlining into the game. And as such, of course, it's going to be tested once again. But as you can see in the month chart, back there we saw a pretty stable player base at around 8 to 15,000 players, and it's pretty much been remained around that level for a while. Even if you have a look half a year back, it's pretty much always been at these levels. And then now very recently you see this huge portion coming in, pretty much starting with the release of the series, and then it's really taking off right now, yesterday and the days before. Then it's the time when it's really reaching new heights, and that's what's most important. So it's not going to be too long until investors see this. So far, I don't feel it's being appreciated as much in the market. We did see a small increase from 17 to 19. However, I do feel we can really sustainably hit the $20 mark per share very, very soon, especially with how big this is going to become. There's going to be a huge expansion being sold very, very soon. So even if the sales right now are already pretty good, the game is pretty much sold for cheap right now. It's I've seen it selling for like $20 or something just very recently. So it's not really sold at high prices. But this also means that all the people that own the game right now and have huge fun with it, seeing the anime that's being released on Netflix, it's going to be even better to them when they see, oh, there's a new expansion 2023, which they can buy as a DLC. So that's going to have another huge influence on the game, and I think there's going to be a lot of sales that are currently not really pressed into the stock price. So my personal opinion on this is that it's valued very, very fairly right now, and we have seen lots of downside in the recent years, but I feel personally we're in a very, very good situation. If you just have a look into the current financials of the company itself, it's pretty much backed up by it as well. Just have a look into the financial report. Currently, we're in a situation where interest is rising, where money is getting more scarce because it's having to be positioned into stocks or other asset classes that are stable, that have a stable return on invest. And that also means that capital is going to be more expensive for companies. However, CD Projekt, just have a look into their long-term liabilities. It's a joke compared to its equity and total assets. The game basically has no liabilities. It's so low that it's neglectable. So especially when compared to its assets. So that also is a huge factor for me. If we were speaking about a company that is basically built just on liabilities, and they rely heavily on liabilities to make new games and stuff like that, then I would be very, very careful. But right now, the company is entirely owned by the holders, and there's not really any risk coming from huge interest that is going to affect most of the other gaming companies and companies in general right now on the stock market. So I personally feel CD Projekt isn't just good in the current market situation, it's also going to be good with the release of Edge Runners, and it's also going to be good with the new releases of The Witcher 3 on the next gen, and of course new Witcher parts as well that will be coming out in the very, very far future. However, either way, the game studio is doing something right. They fixed their stuff, even though it wasn't really appreciated by the stockholders. However, for me personally, it's a pretty good situation right now. As always, this is by no means financial advice. You should always do your own research, especially when it comes to stocks that are risky, such as this one. I am personally, however, going to invest into it, and I'm going to build my position when it comes to CD Projekt, because I want to profit off of the Edge Runners hype, and I'm pretty sure long-term play it's going to be having a nice return. Anyway, that's it going to be for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next, and as always, we're going to cover it in a video and speak about what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.